Awareness Deconstructing Consciousness. This is Karis Alexander with Deep Truth Media. This has never been done before. Awareness Deconstructing Consciousness. How are you enjoying and engaging in the experiment? I know for myself, as I deconstruct consciousness, that is embracing the inner awareness that is unfolding as I become more and more aware of this field of consciousness that has seduced my essence as awareness into this system of consciousness. I've been looking at the word awareness and this word war is in awareness. And so you have A, and then you have war, and then E, and then ness. So I'm aware of the word war in awareness. But I still want to use this word because it is that which is aware. As I'm using awareness in the context of trying to, through language, through the system of language that has seduced us into this system of consciousness. It is a system of language that has spells, so many spells and tricks and lies within it that keeps us under massive hypnosis. But as we deconstruct consciousness as awareness, again, I'm going to use the word awareness with the full knowledge and knowing that there is war within that word. So a war on awareness, a war on your essence. So there is spells and words. I can still use awareness and deconstruct consciousness with the full knowledge of experience and totality of who I am, which is beyond any word, any concepts. Because as awareness, I'm just resting. I'm resting in nothingness, in a state of nothingness. And I often reference this paradise state that I rest in. But again, that's still a concept. It's a feeling of being in a state of paradise, in a state of bliss. These are all concepts and feelings to give you language to support you to understand what it is that I'm sharing and explaining in my own unfoldment. And in my sharing and explaining my own unfoldment, I hope it empowers you to engage your own unfoldment as you experience your own metamorphosis and transcendence in this system of consciousness, because that's what's available to you. For those of you that are tuning in here, I hope that when I share in my own experience, that it allows you to open and expand in your own experience and explore your own metamorphosis in your own unique expression of what is transpiring for you through your own transformation and shift into the knowing and truth of who you are and what that may be for you. We look to this ancient knowledge or history, his story, that is the universal architect's story, God's story, in the unfoldment and understanding where we have come from, where we're going, why we're here, and what are we to do while we're here. We keep looking to this ancient knowledge, this history, his story. But you have to understand that this knowledge, this stream of information, this ancient knowledge, you have to ask yourself if this ancient knowledge really can have any relevance to that which you are, that which you come from, your essence. Because if you understand in the deconstructing of awareness and consciousness, or the deconstruction of consciousness as awareness, then you become inner aware of the fact that ancient knowledge is designed or was designed or written by those who wanted to keep your essence as awareness obscured from you. So do not think that, or if you do think that ancient knowledge is the truth, think again. Ancient knowledge is that. It's knowledge from the past, but it's all been designed to seduce the awareness that is you from knowing in the truth of who you are. It's not that you've just been lied to in this lifetime, that humanity has been lied to from the very beginning. And so you may be saying to yourself, well, Karis, that's pretty daunting that you would say that all the information that we have been spoon-fed through this system of consciousness is lies. It's only daunting if you've given value to this system of consciousness. It's only daunting, it only may seem overwhelming if you give value to the system of consciousness. So you must use your own discernment when sifting through this ancient knowledge, his story, history, when you're seeking truth. Because I will tell you that most of what I share at this stage of the game is through my own unfoldment and what is arising in the moment. And the universal architects would love you to focus on this ancient knowledge and look to it for clues and cues to your origins, so that you will ever or forever be lost searching for the elusive answers that will never come through ancient knowledge or history, his story, but will forever keep you locked in the past, never in the present moment, always looking to the future for solutions. Remember, the power control force, those that presume to run this world, the universal architects, they know who you are, your essence as awareness. And so they created a system in which is designed to keep you from the knowing and truth of who you are. And they use ancient knowledge, history, his story, to keep that from you. And so as you come to understand this web, this matrix, this akashic field, this inner net within yourself, this through the inner awareness of who and what you are, you'll come to understand that the internet is very similar to this system of consciousness. The internet that we use on a daily basis, that you can key in words and will direct you to meaning of something that you are searching for. This internet is an artificial system which is designed to keep you from going within yourself to your inner knowing and intuition to find the answers within yourself. So the system of consciousness has a overlying artificial system called the internet, which is trying to mirror your day-to-day queries in order to create an artificial knowing or intuition, so that the power control force can know what you are searching for, what you are looking for, what kind of questions you are asking. So just know that the internet is an artificial overlay over the system of consciousness, which is an artificial overlay which has captured your essence as awareness. Now again, you're beyond all these concepts, that which is experiencing this third dimensional construct, this third dimensional reality. And so the overriding program at this juncture is transcendence for some and dystopian world for many. So for those of you that are here are definitely engaged in the program of transcendence. So the program of transcendence is a program, you must understand, is a program within this system of consciousness. So they have factored in this whole concept of transcendence or ascension within the system of consciousness. But they do not want you to ascend beyond the system of consciousness. They just want you to ascend and transcend within this system of consciousness. So when I spoke the other time about moving into this magnetism, the state of magnetism, moving into this higher frequency where I am experiencing the implosion and compression and acceleration within the heart, that through the portal of the heart and through the compression and acceleration, thanks to the implosion within the heart, that has catapulted me to transcend this third dimensional environment and allows me now to fully experience this system of consciousness, this web of information, allowing me to manipulate the light. As Lucy says in the movie Lucy, I don't know if any of you went and saw the movie, just opened this last weekend, but I'll show you this picture again. Lucy is, in the movie, Scarlett Johansson, she is manipulating the magnetic field, or this field of consciousness, or she's manipulating her magnetic field in order to manipulate this field of consciousness that she now has full access and awareness of, because she is using her mental faculties in order to manipulate the field of consciousness. Remember, Lucy means light. So all she is doing is manipulating the light, which has seduced her into this system of consciousness. That is what has seduced your awareness, that which you are, the totality of who you are, into this system is the light. You got seduced by the light. And the light simply is the atom. Going back to the atom, you know, the Star of David, the Israeli flag, the proton, the neutron, and the electron that I've discussed on many occasions. That is the light that has seduced you into the system of consciousness. That is the energy, the kundalini, the chi, the prana, that which you breathe in with the in-breath and the out-breath. That is the light that has seduced your essence. It mirrors your essence as awareness, which is nothing, no thing, but it is this energy in all its varying forms that allows you to have the experience. It is this energy, this light, that has seduced you into this third dimensional construct. It's just light oscillating at a lower frequency. And when light oscillates at a lower frequency, it turns into matter. It turns into physical form. And so when I talk about the implosion of the heart and the compression and the acceleration within the heart, this is your portal. This is the gateway out of this unified field of consciousness, this system of consciousness, so that you can experience the totality of who you are as awareness. And many talk about the pineal gland and the activation of the pineal gland being the ultimate goal for one who is to transcend out of this into enlightenment. The pineal gland activation is one part of the process. And you have to ask yourself, if the power control force, those that presume to run this world, are giving out information that the pineal gland activation is the way out of this system of consciousness, they lie to you. So why do you think that they would tell you the full truth of how you get out of this system of consciousness when they want to keep you here? So this whole idea of the pineal gland activation is only one aspect. If you are trying to transcend or reach enlightenment, it's only one aspect of the whole process. It's a process of initiation. We're all going through it at different stages and varying degrees. But I just listen to some people and I'm just like, well, you know, I used to say a lot of things that I don't say anymore, simply because that was where I was at that stage. So because this is so new for all of us and we are evolving and growing, accelerating into the totality of who we are very quickly, what we will say one minute will change the next, simply because we're coming into more knowing and truth. So we have to be open and flexible that what one is sharing may change over time. But I don't anticipate a lot of what I'm sharing at this stage is going to change, especially since starting with the awareness model. And so for those of you that are new and are listening to this, sharing this audio, I encourage you to go back to the beginning of the awareness model. There's a playlist, and listen to all the audios. And I encourage you to read the blog posts. There won't be a blog post for this particular sharing because I'm just sharing in the moment, because so much is happening for me. It really helps me to share and ground the experience of what I'm seeing at a whole nother level, although it's very subtle. And so it's this very act of surrendering into the heart and then transcending even the heart. So I'm working with this magnetism, as I mentioned in my last audio, with focused attention on specific areas of this field of consciousness now, knowing that as awareness, having been seduced into this light, this system of consciousness, that I've now have full access and awareness of this, the totality of this unified field of consciousness, this universe, this universal system of information, and I can tap into any aspect of this universal system of consciousness, and I focus my attention on an area of this system of consciousness, very similar to what you would do when you have a query and you want an answer for that query, and you go to the internet, the artificial internet or inner knowing, and you look for answers there. You're only going to get the information within the system of consciousness. So it's really important to start depending on our own inner awareness and knowing and wisdom that arises through the truth of who we are. Because when we do that, when we access that inner knowing and knowledge, truth reveals itself so stunningly different than what we would ever get from this system of consciousness. Imagine that. So it's this very act of surrendering into the knowing and truth of who you are, this act of surrendering into the feminine aspect of the totality of who you are. It's an act of being very gentle in your manifestation, in your magnetism. It's an alchemical gentleness that allows you to surrender, and in that surrendering, you acquire greater and greater power. So what I am experiencing is that as I become more gentle, as I become in my expression, as I become more capable of surrendering into the totality of who I am, that the frequency and what I'm able to access at a higher level is accessible. And it truly reminds me of that pureness, that pure essence of a baby, that is sheer power. That pureness, if you can go back to the memory of yourself or the memory of a newborn, that pureness of seeing a newborn baby, that is sheer power. That is the sheer power that we are accessing or have access to at this particular juncture. There is power in gentleness. There is power in the feminine. That is the true, raw, organic power that each and every one of us wields as awareness. It is the feminine, the act of receptivity. That is the organic power. That is how we manifest. That is how we unravel into the knowing and truth of who we are and letting go of this dense physicality, this dense matter in which we have been born into, so that we can straddle both fields, the field of awareness, which is nothingness, and this field of consciousness, and we can be within this world and create anew despite what's going on around us. Because those who are caught in the system of consciousness are in a degenerative process. They are degenerating and they are self-destructing. Whereas those of us who are shape-shifting into this higher frequency, because that's what we're doing, we're shape-shifting. So we're letting go of the personality of Karis and all the characters that she plays. And that personality is letting, I can shape-shift back into her when I'm experiencing my 3D experience. But now I'm also shape-shifting into the higher order, the higher frequency pattern that is evolving in this virtual reality construct that is unfolding through this system of consciousness. The higher order of the totality of who I am is metamorphosizing into this third dimensional system. So I will be living, and that is the expression of what I'm sharing here. That is in the unfoldment of what I'm shaping and molding into in the higher frequency vibratory sphere. That is what I'm experiencing at the higher order, the higher totality, these genetic coding that's unraveling, the higher order of the genetic coding that is unraveling through this physical form. What is revealing itself is the higher order, which is mirroring at the highest frequency possible the totality of who I am as awareness. And so when I say that I rest in a constant state of paradise and I am to live in a state of opulence, that is simply because the genetic coding is activated within me in order for me to experience the higher order and the totality of who I am in this system of consciousness, which is simply mirroring the higher order of who I am as awareness. Because as awareness, I am inner aware of the fact that this personality Karis and this brain-body construct in which I experience this third-dimensional reality through the mind, the thought, and the thought process, which are not mine. The mind, the thought, and the thought process, which are not yours, but that you experience through the mind, the brain-body construct, is or can be considered the lowest form or the lowest vibration in which you are experiencing that which you are in this dimension. But the higher order of who you are is grand, it's exquisite. You are a genius. And so it's really important for you, as I share in these audios, what is the higher order or the higher self that you are to become? You have some recognition of that. Maybe you are to be an artist. Maybe you are to be an author. Maybe you are to be an actor. Maybe you are to bring peace to this earth. What is the higher order of who you are? Maybe you are to be a healer and you haven't necessarily tapped into that capability. But whatever it is for you, it's showing up for you. You may be getting glimpses of it. That is your higher self speaking to you. Every single person on this call has a higher aspect that they know they are to tap into. That is the higher order of who they can be within this system of consciousness. So as you do your own contemplation, your own reflective work, what is it that you are to be doing that you are not doing, that you keep avoiding? Because when you stop avoiding what it is that you are meant to be doing, that which keeps showing up for you, that's the only way you're going to experience more of your greatness. So it's really important for you to start listening at a very intense, deep level to what it is that you are meant to be doing here. What is the higher order of and purpose and meaning for you at this time? That is what you are to give value to, and stop giving value to the negativity, to that which you are not, to all those judgment, pessimism, anger, resentment. Stop giving your attention to all those negative emotions, because that's how the power control force keep you immersed in this program, this system of consciousness, thinking you are worthless. But that's a con. That's the biggest con. So when we move into the higher order of who we are, and we experience the higher frequency patterning of who and what we are, and we unlock that genetic coding, and we're vibrating at a higher frequency, we can only attract that which we are vibrating at. And so then we will experience the opulence, the grandness, the greatness, and the totality of who and what we are, and we will attract that into our lives. It is the law. So I will leave you with that. Now is the time for you to stand in your greatness. It truly is a powerful time. When you stand in your greatness, you reclaim your power and your freedom from this system, this consciousness system. We'll talk to you soon.